that, but like all of this juicy, we don't want this to go to waste. Is somebody getting a little? You dating somebody?
Me, myself, and I. So it's what, 3 of them?
For those that are not familiar, Vivica A. Fox was a pretty big actress. I think she was a big actress. She's played in some big roles. Kill Bill, Independence Day, Set It Off. But she's played in a lot of different roles. What's my favorite one? One of my favorite Vivica movies is Two Can Play That Game with Morris Chestnut. But she's been in a lot of different movies, and she's been out there as far as some of the things that she's been saying about dating. I am not that much of a fan of her. I'll be totally honest. I never really messed with her. Like the stuff that she said after rest in peace, Unc Kev Samuels. She pretty much, when Kev Samuels passed away, she said it was karma. Like when Kev Samuels passed away, she said it was karma for him criticizing women and talking about women in a negative, whatever. But let's take a look at this, and I'd love to hear y'all thoughts.
Real quick, let's go. Okay, all right.
Now, you know, I know that me time is great, and you said that, but like all of this juicy, we don't want this to go to waste. Is somebody getting a little? You dating somebody?
Me, myself, and I. So it's what, 3 of them?
All right. Let's get to it. First and foremost, we have to prioritize our health. We just have to. We have to prioritize our health. And where am I going with this? Vivica Fox has said plenty of times that she's has her standards. She's not settling. She's only dating a certain type of guy. Throw all those other standards out the window. In my opinion, if I showed y'all who Vivica, what she used to look like, and I don't know whether it's plastic surgery or maybe I shouldn't go this route because it's not about looks. I'm talking about it from a health standpoint, but it is amazing to me how so many people can have all of these standards in other areas, but not taking care of your health. To me, that's a very big thing. How your presentation, it's not about just the presentation. Like we talk about this all the time. The presentation is just the reward. It's just something that comes along with it. It's a value add from you just being the healthiest version of yourself. But let me not dive too much into that. Let's keep going.
But no, really, I've been happily single for about 5 years.
Yeah.
And it's been.
Why are you lying? Why are you lying? And look what Ant just wrote. Ant just wrote the same thing. I didn't even see it. I was looking at the other screen. Wait, when did Vivica start looking like this? I'm late. Respectfully, that's what I'm saying. Respectfully. And Ant wrote, why not? She talks about looks when it comes to her standards. That's a fact. But see, you want to know why I didn't want to get too much into the looks? Because I don't want to take away from the main point that I think we need to think about here. She's talking about she's been happily single for 5 years. Why are you lying? Any woman, I'll be totally honest. Any woman at her age or any age, let me back it up this way. Let me ask a question instead of making a statement. Let me ask a question. Oh, and Mama Lay is in the building. She said she put on a lot of weight. I don't think there's surgery. I wasn't sure if anything was done with her face. But yeah, this is my question. Dang, I kind of lost my train of thought. But it was regarding the things that, what did Ant just write? What was I going to say? All right, I'm just going to start talking and hopefully it comes. Hopefully it comes to mind. But the thing about Vivica and the thing about claiming that you've been happily single for 5 years, and it did come to me. Think about, because I said I was going to switch it to a question. Think about, and there are some unique people. There are some unique people in this world. But think about the people that you know would say that they're happily single. think about the women. I understand how a lot of men. Let's look at it from a man's standpoint. Why would a man say that he's happily single? Why would a man say that he's happily single? Does he not like sexual relations with women? Does he not like sexual relationships with guys if he's gay, whatever it is? Does he not like the emotional connection with a significant other? Now, I can understand if you have a terrible relationship or a terrible situation that you're coming out of, that you're happier maybe by yourself than in that relationship. But that's because you're comparing it to something that was terrible. You get what I'm saying? I still don't think that you would look at yourself as happily single for 5 years. So just my question is, think about the people that you know that would fall into this category of being happily single for 5 years. Do you really think they're happy? Do you really think that a 60-year-old woman wants to be by herself, doesn't want to come home to somebody, doesn't want to make dinner for her man, doesn't want her man making dinner for her, doesn't want to go through life? Like, am I bugging? Because to me, one of the greatest purposes of life is to experience it with somebody else, to go through it. We always talk about, when it comes to business and everything else, the mastermind, right? When you bring 2 people, when you bring 3 people, when you bring all these people together, you're able to do more than you would by yourself. There's compounding interest across the board. Isn't that the same thing when you find the right partner? Isn't that the word that we're using nowadays? When you find the right partner, isn't that the same thing? Like, so when you say, when you're on here 60 years old, you're a celebrity with a huge influence, and you're jumping up here saying that you're happily single, what is that? What is the message that is sent to women across the board? Now, Vivica may be in a position where she could hire a man to go on dates with. She could hire this because she, has some type of celebrity and success. But do you really think that, like, honestly, I'll be totally honest. Men and women, I'm looking at a little funny. Like, now I'm getting to an age where I used to meet a lot of guys and they say, yo, I'm happily single, man. I'm never getting married, all this. And I used to look at it like, I'm never getting married, never having kids, all these things. I don't want a relationship. I just want to worry about me. I started to look at guys a little like, I'm not that I look at you funny, not that I am judging. Everybody judges. I'm processing. Like, now I'm looking into your life a little bit differently than I was. Now I got the magnifying glass, because I'm like, well, damn, what makes him say that? Like, is this the type of person that, like, I even want to be around? Like, I'll be totally honest. Because birds of a feather, right? And I always try to study success. So if I see somebody with a relationship or somebody that is successful, I look at it either way. I look at people that are successful, and I'm always like studying, like, okay, how does this impact their relationship? Like, if you're successful financially in business, on your job, corporate rise, how does that impact your relationship? And then I also look at relationships. If I know that the relationship, or if I think that the relationship is successful, I look at, well, how does that impact, their day-to-day with their finances and the work? Like, so we're always looking for that balance. I am, at least. I just think that it's extremely disingenuous to get up on any platform, and in order to make you feel better about the position that you're in, you're telling the world that you're happily single. I just don't look at it that way. But I don't know. Hold on. Did I miss some comments? Hold on. Let me keep going with the video a little bit.
Okay. I mean, don't think I'm sad. I'm good. I'm good, but it's okay.
Let's be real. Y'all always telling men to be vulnerable and to be honest with our feelings and to open up. Let's be real. You are sad. Who wouldn't be sad? Yeah, Vivica, you used to be like one of those ones that every guy is looking at like, yo, she's bad. And now you can't find somebody to meet your standards. So let's look at that a different way, because you're not going to compromise your standards, right? You're not going to settle. That means that no guy, the guys that you determine that are of your class, of your grade that you're looking for, that means that none of them are willing to give the things that you believe that you deserve. Isn't that what that means? If I sit here as a guy and complain about my relationship, complain about this, complain about women, all these women are dumb, they won't do this, they won't do that. At a certain point, I got to look at it and be like, damn, if I feel like I'm worth this and the value that I bring to the table should be reciprocated in these ways that I call my standards, if no woman is willing to meet those things, then I got to look at myself and say, like, maybe I'm not who I think I am. Or maybe I'm not expressing that, or maybe I'm not delivering, whatever it is. I would have to look internally. But what she's portraying and what she's pushing on the people, in my opinion, is this mindset that we see a lot where it's like, I'm not settling. And first and foremost, I would assume that everybody settles in a relationship, right? Doesn't everybody settle? Are we out here thinking that we're about to get perfection? Is that a thing? Is that still a thing? I don't know, but I would assume that everybody settles in some ways or another. That's what compromise is. Isn't that the main thing with relationships? Like, isn't that one of the keys to relationships, to be able to compromise? So now people are going to say, well, that's different than settling. Is it? I don't know.
Dating me, and I'm looking for the right one. I'm not going to settle.
That's right.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
because I'm afraid of being alone. I think that's the problem that happens with a lot of us.
So many people, the fear.
Yeah, that, oh my God, I don't want to be by myself. I'm actually pretty good.
I got y'all on the meth.
But
I'm
I
gonna
know
show
one
the method
time
man.
you was, did you
Oh,
make a,
God,
you made
Cheryl,
a joke that you was looking, did your DMs get flooded?
They did. I made a joke, y'all. It honestly was a joke.
No, it wasn't.
And I've said the joke for years, but for some odd reason, me turning 60 and me saying I'm taking applications. Child, they were sending it to my agent, to my publicist, sliding up in the DMs. I mean, like.
So you didn't hire anybody?
Everything. But I appreciate that. But I was like, send a picture so I can make sure.
And you know, I'll be totally honest. A lot of this just makes me sad. And I don't know, like, how everybody's going to perceive me discussing these type of things, but it's really just from a sad standpoint. Like, I think that our culture tears us apart in a lot of ways. American culture does not promote marriage, does not promote partnership, whatever you want to call it, does not promote and highlight the value of locking in with an individual. To me, it's not promoted. And, you know, when I look at my life and I'm sitting here thinking like, damn, I'm 37. I ain't got no kids. I'm not married. Like, I really think about these things because I'll be totally honest. In my 20s, I wasn't thinking about any of this stuff. It just wasn't a part of the culture. It was like, yo, you got to figure out your business, figure out, you know, football, figure out whatever else in order to get some money. And then you worry about that later on. Like, you'll be good. Like, you'll be good. Now, to each their own as far as the approach that you take. But in my opinion, what I'm seeing more and more, and when I see it with especially women in my family and men as well, I shouldn't just say especially, but I'm thinking about a woman in my family. When you have to go through those later stages of your life, in any stage of your life, in my opinion, but I think that you feel it in a different way the more you become vulnerable health-wise and maybe mentally as well. You know, your physical health, but also your mental health. I think that you're putting yourself in a position that's very dangerous. See, being single for Vivica may be okay. She may be good. But, oh, shoot, my computer's about to die. Hold on. Hold up. What we doing, Flex? All right. Caught it. It was just about to go. All right. So getting back to the point, I think that it could be very dangerous. You know, you being by yourself and living those later years by yourself. It's a very vulnerable thing. I also believe that it kills a lot of people. Loneliness, all of these different things. So for Vivica to be pushing this message to people, I think it's disingenuous. I think it's wrong. And I think that this is another one of those situations where just be honest. Just be honest. Yo, it does suck being single. It does suck, feeling like I can't find anybody that meets the standards that I believe that I deserve. Be honest about that. Have the conversation around that, because I'm sure there's a lot of people that are feeling that way. And there's a lot of people that y'all are convincing, perhaps a lot of women in their 20s and 30s, that y'all are convincing that being single is okay and being this is okay. Maybe you had the opportunity to have a relationship. Maybe you had those opportunities, but now you're convincing women in their 20s and 30s that they should be single, that it's all good. Maybe I don't know. I'm just looking at it from a cultural standpoint across the board. When you look at it from that standpoint, we know that, especially when it comes to women, the age is going to, the older you get, you may not be able to have kids. You may not be, all these different things. It's just a reality. And us not looking into that reality, or us ignoring that reality, may put a lot of people in positions to where they're making decisions based on their current way of thinking, based on maybe people that they respect and value and hold in high regards, giving them their opinions. And there may be no turning back to a lot of these decisions that are being made. And then by the time you reach your 40s, and you're saying like, damn, I looked at this all wrong, it may be too late to pursue a lot of these things that you could have done maybe earlier on. I look at my own life with it. Shoot, I look at, if I would have had kids at 30, that's an extra 7 years that my kids could have experienced with my parents. They could have met my aunt. You know what I'm saying? They could have met a lot of the family members that passed away, and now my kids will never meet them in the physical. So I just, this is the only reason. This was not to bash Vivica. It's just to bash this mindset that I think that we need to do better on. So that's what I'm looking at it from. That's the standpoint that I'm looking at it from. All right, so let's look at this Method Man video. All right, let's look at this Method Man video. That was enough on Vivica. We wish her the best. Hopefully she gets it together, or hopefully she finds what she's looking for. Because I really don't wish bad on Vivica. I really don't. Even though I'm not a fan of her, like I said, because for whatever reason, some other comments that she made, I think that she's rude, and I think that she's a few other things, but I'm still wishing the best for her. Like, it's to the point where, how people say, like, I wouldn't wish that on my enemy, on my worst enemy. Like, I've heard, like, I'm watching all these Gangs of London and stuff. Maybe in my mind, I'm thinking, like, I wouldn't wish jail, or I wouldn't wish prison on my worst enemy. I wouldn't wish single loneliness, especially in later years, on my worst enemy. I really wouldn't. It is what it is. It is what it is. All right, so let's get to this Instagram. Listen to this Method Man video. It's Dak. Just want to thank you for checking out our video and visiting the OG Network. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure that you give us a like. And if you're looking to join a community of inspired individuals striving for purposeful abundance, subscribe. And if you're feeling real generous, share the video with some friends and family. All right, I'll see y'all soon. Ew.